Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen, aka Caked by Baby K, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette and the ever so loved Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, I wanted to talk about like packaging, prices, all that stuff. So I got my Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette at my local CVS for $7, so like $6.99. Prices may vary depending on wherever you go. I got my Modern Renaissance one actually as a gift, but this one retails for $42. You guys all know and love this one. Felt packaging, it comes with a mirror, a brush, 14 shades, as opposed to Wet n Wild that only has 10 shades and plastic packaging. A lot of people are complaining about Wet n Wild's new packaging because they say it's like kind of cheap, but hello, it's only like $7. And it's Wet n Wild, they're a drugstore brand. And if you guys remember like their old packaging before their rebranding, like I remember the Walking on Eggshells trio, like that packaging was janky, but I think this is a huge step up for them. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the makeup comparison. Okay, so I've already started with my eyebrows and I've primed my eyelids with some Tarte Shape Tape and some translucent powder from RCMA. And right now I'm going to do this side will be the Wet n Wild side, and then this side will be the Modern Renaissance side. Okay, so I've zoomed you guys in. I'm going to start on the Modern Renaissance side. I'm just taking... Actually, I'm going to take this brush instead. I'm going to take the Sigma Tapered Blending. This is the E35 brush. And then I'm just going to dip into Golden, Ochre, Raw Sienna, and Burnt Orange. Just because it's like the transition shade in the Wet n Wild palette. It's like a mixture of all those. So let's go ahead and get started on here. Just going to blend this into my crease. Okay, so we've laid down that transition color. Next I'm going to take the transition shade. Why is this not focusing? I'm going to take the transition shade in the Wet n Wild palette right here, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Oh, and I'm taking my ABH Cosmetics fluffy blending brush. That is ever so loved. I use it in like all my looks. The Wet n Wild palette blends really nicely, I must say. And I'm noticing a little bit of fallout, which is completely okay. I'm totally fine with that. It is really powdery, kind of like Modern Renaissance is, because Modern Renaissance is pretty powdery. Okay, so now that that's blended all up in there, we're gonna move on to the next color. So back to the Modern Renaissance side, I'm just taking, let's see, what should I take? Realgar on the same taper blending brush, and I'm just gonna pop that in the crease as well. I love Realgar so much. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking this orange shade in the Wet n Wild palette that's similar to Realgar. I'm just going to be doing the exact same thing on this side. That is pretty. Okay, so far so good. Just hiccuped, oh gosh. All right, I'm going back to Modern Renaissance, and then I'm going to do Red Ochre. Just to deepen that crease up. Blend all that out. Cool. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the Wet n Wild side. I'm going to be taking this red shade right here. Guys, this is insane. This is like almost exactly the same. And I'm just going to take a blending brush. It doesn't really have much product on it. I'm just going to blend the Modern Renaissance side because it's looking a little shabby right here. Okay. And going back to the Modern Renaissance side, I'm going to do, if it will ever focus, I'm going to do Cypress Umber, which is that brown shade. And then take that onto the outer corners of my eye to deepen that up, create some depth. Cool. And I'm going to do the same thing with the Wet n Wild side, of course. Going to take this brown shade right here. That is not too shabby. All right, now I'm gonna take Primavera from Modern Renaissance just on my finger, and I'm just going to run it on my lids. Just to create a little more dimension on here. Cool, just to brighten things up. And then now I'm going to take this champagne shade in the Wet n Wild palette right here, and then do the exact same thing, take it on my finger. Wow, this feels so buttery right now. Okay, just gonna do the same thing, pop it on here. I will say that this champagne shade is visibly darker than Primavera. Like, it's not as bright. But I mean, it's not like super, I mean, it's pretty noticeable if you like really look at it. Like, this one's way brighter. This one's way brighter than this one. Okay, I'm back with some liner, and I have to say that it looks pretty darn good and similar. Like, don't you guys think? Okay, I'm gonna put on the rest of my face before I do the bottom lash line, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so this is the completed look right here. My final thoughts, are they dupes? Yes, they are complete dupes. They do have some differences to them, but they're very, very slight. But seeing the shades that I use, I only use like 5 out of the 10 shades in here. They are so similar to Modern Renaissance. Like, I can't even, like, I can't. I will say that the blendability of both of them are pretty similar in my opinion. I even like, I don't know if it's because like the brushes I used, but this Wet n Wild side blended a lot better than the Modern Renaissance side, which is surprising. And I don't know if it's because of my brushes or anything, but I have used their other palette with this one. Let me see which one I have. I also have the Not a Basic Peach palette, this one, and this one blends like a dream as well. So I already know that the blendability of this, like just using it now, it's like amazing. Modern Renaissance, very near and dear to my heart and to a lot of your guys' hearts as well. I will still continue to be using this one, but I think like for traveling and stuff, I'm definitely gonna take this little guy because they are so similar and it's smaller, more compact. So guys, we found a dupe. Like, they're so good. I'm gonna zoom you guys in right now so you guys can see the comparison between my two eyes. This one is the Wet n Wild side, this one is the Modern Renaissance side, so let's go ahead and do that. So makeup might be washed out by the light coming in from my window, but you guys, they're like pretty similar. The only difference I can see is that this one, the Primavera shade, is a lot brighter than this champagne shade from the Wet n Wild palette. But other than that, like, I mean, I can't speak for the other shades that are in the palette because I only used 5 of them. So I don't know about the other ones, but so far, like, dupe. Alright you guys, so that concludes this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!